Mother Nature decided to wreak havoc on the situation. Torrential rains once again in Sudbury. It has not just rained in Sudbury this week. It has been absolute monsoon conditions when the rain has come down. And unfortunately, with the field being situated the way it is in Sudbury, once that field gets wet, it takes a long time for conditions to improve enough for baseball to be played. So a lot of conversations were had last night once the action was postponed. And finally, everyone came to an agreement that the best course of action was to play out these championship games here today and for the venue to move up here to Pheno Field in Milford. So Post 59 with the opportunity to play here on the home field with the state championship on the line. Excitement all around at Pheno Field here today as the fans continue to file in. Things starting to fill up around on the bleachers, and we are getting set for baseball.
Jeff Bazazzi, catcher, third base, first base, senior at Milford High.
Scott DeCapua, catcher, first base, Milford, Mass, Quinnipiac University.
Brian Espinette, shortstop, Hopedale, and Hopedale High School.
Cole McNana, outfield, Milford, Massachusetts, Milford High School.
Michael Caffarella, infield, Milford, Mass, Bryant University.
Alex Croto, pitcher, Milford High School.
I'm Kevin Martinez. I play first and I pitch from Bellingham, Massachusetts, and I'll be attending Northeastern University next year.
Hi, I'm David Sampson. I'm a pitcher. Hometown is Bellingham, Massachusetts, and I'm going to Southern New Hampshire University.
I'm Joe White. I play second base. I'm from Milford, Mass, and I'm going to UMass Lowell next year.
Kevin Lynch, center field, Hopedale, and I go to Hopedale Senior High School.
Blake Hill, outfield, Milford High School.
Brennan Pounds, outfield, Milford, Massachusetts, Bellingham University.
Michael Ryan, catcher, Bellingham, Massachusetts, Bellingham High School.
Cam Cassette, outfield and pitcher, Milford, Mass, and Milford High School.
Matt Tessina, play left field, hometown is Hopkinton, and I go to Hopkinton High School.
Andrew McMillan, 3B, Hopkinton High School.
Dan Avery, pitcher, Milford, Mass, Massachusetts Maritime Academy.
Dan Mantoni, shortstop from Hopedale, Mass, and I go to UMass Boston.
And it is cool temperatures here in Milford right now, and it is 67 degrees as we get set for the state championship game. It's been a fairly heavy cloud cover overhead, and from the time that I arrived here at the field at right around 1:30 this afternoon, there has not been any precipitation. It's been a cloud cover which actually has occasionally broken up a bit. We haven't seen the sun, but the skies have brightened a few times. Right now, it's about as good conditions as there have been here in the Milford area all day long. They were able to play the entire early game precipitation-free, so we certainly hope that that trend continues here for this state championship game. Milford out on the field now after the national anthem was completed. Dan Avery making his warm-up tosses to his battery mate Michael Ryan. All the usual suspects involved in this championship game for Post 59. A little bit of a different look for Post 59 from earlier on in the tournament. They had been wearing the camo jerseys throughout the first 4 games that they played in this state tournament, but playing here on their home field for the championship, they have switched back to their traditional home look, so it is the gold jerseys with navy lettering for Post 59. That is their look. Newburyport sporting their usual red jerseys with white trim and lettering, white uniform pants, and red hats and helmets. As we should be seeing the first pitch in this game just momentarily. Defensively, Post 59 looks like this in the game. Michael Ryan is behind the plate. Andrew McMillan at third, Dan Mantoni at short, Joe White at second, and Kevin Martinez at first. Left to right in the outfield, it is Matt Tessina, Kevin Lynch, and Cam Cosette. Dan Avery on the mound in this all-important deciding game that will crown the champion. And he is ready to go. Newburyport is good to go. Tyler Chasen, the leadoff hitter, stepping into the batter's box. This field here at Pheno in tip-top shape, as you would expect. And just a bit of sun now, almost breaking through as we see the first pitch of the state tournament game thrown. And it is fouled to the backstop for strike one. Baseball is underway. The 0-1 pitch now on the way from Dan Avery. It hits the inside edge for a called strike 2. Dan now on the season, a record of 7-2, a 1.32 ERA. Here's his 0-2 pitch, and it's in there for a called strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout to Tyler Chasen is how Dan Avery starts his outing here this afternoon. The first man retired, now Rosario Masidi coming to the plate. This is Dan Avery's 13th appearance on the mound in 2014. It is his 11th start, as it has been nothing but strikes to open the game so far for Dan. He issues strike 1 into Masidi. Avery with 58 2/3 innings pitched on the season, as now this ball is fouled away right into the bleachers down the left field line, which is where the Newburyport fans have congregated. So an 0-2 count now to Masidi. Avery, a quick worker, back into his windup. Here's the pitch. It's hit on the ground to first base. It's grabbed there by Kevin Martinez. He takes it to the first base bag, and it's 2 up and 2 down here in the first. Base is empty now for Colby Fontaine, who got the start at third base when these two teams met earlier this week. And Colby Fontaine with some significant plays on the night. Post 150 with a couple of errors in that game. Both of them were charged to Fontaine as a third baseman, and also you will remember the big relay throw from Milford in the outfield that cut down a man at the plate. That man was Colby Fontaine. He finds himself in a similar situation to his first two teammates who have come to the plate this inning. A 0-2 count. Avery looking for a quick 1-2-3 inning. Here is his 0-2 pitch, and it is popped up out into right center field. Ranging over is Lynch and Cosette. It's Kevin Lynch who takes charge, makes the catch, and a nice and easy 1-2-3 top of the first inning for Dan Avery. Post 59 will take their first swings in this championship game when we return here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. A strong performance out of Dan Avery in the top half of this first inning. Nothing but strikes thrown to all 3 batters he faced. And so now it is post 59 coming to the plate once again here at Fino Field. It's Matt DeCina leading it off. Ryan Kuchar's first pitch is popped up in foul ground beyond third base, giving chase is Rose. And right at the edge of the field of play, he is able to make the catch. As you know, a lot of foul ground on each line, and Rose was able to haul that one in just prior to it going out of play. So DeCina is retired on a pop out on just 1 pitch. And so with 1 out and the bases clear, here is Andrew McMillan, who takes a pitch that misses inside for ball 1. Ryan Kuchar getting the start for post 150. He ended up having a significant impact on the game that propelled Newburyport to this championship, as he now deals ball 2 into McMillan. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Here's the pitch. It misses once again, 3-0 now. Kuchar was the man at the plate in the bottom of the 9th inning with 2 outs in the winning run at third base, and he lined a single up the middle that scored the run that sealed the deal. It was a walk-off win for Newburyport earlier this afternoon. An exciting finish. Both of those teams, Newburyport and Kingston, giving it everything they had. But in the end, it was Newburyport who was able to pull out the win. Kuchar a big part of that, and now looking to be a big part of this championship game. He deals a 1-out walk to Andrew McMillan, who now heads to first base ahead of Dan Mantoni, who takes a pitch inside for ball 1. So that makes 5 straight out of the strike zone now for Kuchar. The 1-0 pitch now on the way to Mantoni. It's hit on the ground to the left side. It gets through for a base hit. Well placed in between the third baseman and shortstop. Mantoni has the first hit of this state championship game. Runners at first and second now ahead of Kevin Martinez. These two teams played back on Tuesday night in Milford's 3rd game of this state tournament. and Milford was able to come away with a 3-0 victory. Kevin Martinez ended up notching the win on the mound, pitching 6 scoreless innings. David Sampson then finished it off with 3 scoreless innings of his own to notch the save. Kevin Martinez taking ball 1 here from Ryan Kuchar. Runners leading off of first and second base for Milford. Here's the pitch, and it's hit on the ground towards shortstop. Fielded cleanly there by Cashman. He gets the out at second base. The throw to first is in time for the inning-ending 6-4-3 double play. So Milford with a promising start to the inning, but a good defensive play quickly ends the threat. We've played 1 full now from Fino Field, and it is scoreless between Milford and Newburyport. You're listening to coverage of the 2014 Massachusetts State Championship game here on WMRC First Class Radio and streaming online at WMRCDailyNews.com. Jumping right back into action here in the top of the second inning. Neither team able to score in the first. Newburyport helped out by a nice double play, so Dan Avery jumps right back on the mound. A 1-ball, 1-strike count into Dan Rose, who now hits one on the ground towards third base. It's a fair ball. A nice play by Andrew McMillan. And it looks like now they're going to rule it a foul ball. They had appeared to initially rule it fair. It was right down the third base line. A terrific diving play. Laying it out was Andrew McMillan, and his throw to first base was there in time, but they will rule it a foul ball. So all of that effort. And Dan Rose will head back up to the plate now with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Avery's pitch is hit in the air, foul off of the first base side. Michael Ryan and Kevin Martinez giving chase. Ryan runs his way all the way into the Milford dugout, but that one is up and over, and the count will stay 1-2. Dan Rose a couple of nights ago was the designated hitter and the cleanup hitter for post 150. Ended up coming away with a double. 1 for 3 overall on the night, a couple of strikeouts, also a walk. He takes a ball here, and the count goes to 2-2. His double, though, did set up an opportunity for post 150 to have a rally, but that was when their runner was thrown out at home plate. He lofts one out into shallow right field. It's going to be trouble. Sliding in is Blake Hill. He can't make the play. He collides with Joe White, who is also racing out. It is Cam Cosette, pardon me, not Blake Hill. So Cosette takes the brunt of that collision. But both players able to get back up to their feet. No harm done. It will go as a single. Both Milford's second baseman and right fielder doing what they could to make the play. But that one hit just too shallow, so the leadoff man is aboard. And now a quick pickoff throw over to first. Rose back standing. Next batter up for post 150 is Cam Toohey, the left fielder. He takes the first pitch for a called strike. Every name in this lineup, a name that we saw back a couple of nights ago when these two teams met. Some of the positions are different. Cam Toohey playing his same position out in left field he did when the teams met initially. He puts this one on the ground. It's going to sneak its way through the left side of the infield. It was a slow roller, but Dan Mantoni could not get to it. And things developing quickly now for post 150. A couple of soft hit balls that have made their way through for base hits, and now Newburyport with runners at first and second and nobody out ahead of the center fielder Colby Ingraham. Dan Avery enjoying a nice textbook 1-2-3 inning in the first. But 2 runners aboard here now in the top of the second inning. Newburyport threatening to take the first lead. Colby Ingraham did not have a hit against Milford. Back on Tuesday, he turns a bunt here. Dan Avery will just go right to first base with the throw. He was able to get to it quickly, but didn't even look over to second base. It would have been a tight play, but opting to go with the sure out at first base. So a sacrifice for Ingraham puts 2 men in scoring position with only 1 out. So now an RBI opportunity for Justin Cashman, who is playing shortstop today. He was the starting pitcher back on Tuesday night. Ended up collecting 11 strikeouts against Milford, but Post 59 able to come through, scratching a couple of runs across, and that was the difference in the 3-0 win. But Cashman looked very good for his 6 innings of work on the pitcher's mound. Now in there offensively and defensively at shortstop. Cashman did not take any at-bats in the game earlier this week. He fouls a pitch back to bring the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Cashman up now, Bob Barry, the right fielder, to follow. There's just 1 out here in the top of the 2nd inning. Newburyport with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Here is the 1-1 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. Avery would like to see a strikeout here to freeze the runners right where they are. It's Rose who leads off of 3rd base with Toohey at 2nd. Avery into the windup. Here comes his 1-2 pitch, and it's hit off the end of the bat. It rolls foul over towards the Milford on deck area. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out in the inning. Avery ready with another offering. Here it is, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. Avery elevating that pitch. Cashman chases it, and he takes with him the 2nd strikeout of the day for Avery. Runners remain at 2nd and 3rd with now 2 outs. And it's up to Bob Barry if Newburyport is going to generate any offense here in the game in this inning. The first pitch is in for a called strike 1. We had a chance to check on Twitter earlier in the day, and a nice message posted by none other than Minnesota twin Chris Colabello, wishing Post 59 good luck in this state championship game. Chris Colabello, now a big leaguer and a former member of Post 59, so we certainly want to give a shout out to Chris for taking the time out of his busy big league schedule to think about his old team here in Milford. And in the meantime, it's a quick 1 ball, 2 strike count from Dan Avery into Bob Barry. Avery has the sign he wants. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's hit in the air foul. It will make its way out of play, and the count will remain 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs in this top of the 2nd inning. It's a scoreless game with Newburyport threatening with those 2 runners in scoring position. They take their leads now as the hitter Barry backs out. Barry 0 for 3 a couple of nights ago, now takes a breaking ball that slices back in towards the plate, but not enough for the umpire to ring up Barry. It goes as a ball that evens the count at 2-2. Avery calm and collected, ready with the 2-2 pitch. This one in there for a called strike 3 to end the inning. Back-to-back strikeouts with 2 runners in scoring position for Avery, and Newburyport does not score. On to the bottom of the 2nd, still scoreless here in this state championship game on WMRC First Class Radio. Milford dodges a bullet in the top half of this 2nd inning. Newburyport able to get 2 in scoring position with 1 out, but 2 clutch strikeouts by Dan Avery ends the threat. So now it is Joe White leading things off here in the top of the 2nd. Down in the count now, 0-2. The next pitch in from Ryan Kuchar just misses off the outside edge. And the count now goes to 1-2. And now a swing and a miss, and White goes down. That is the first strikeout for Ryan Kuchar. And it's the first out here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And that brings up Michael Ryan, the catcher. Michael Ryan nearly making it 3 home runs for Post 59 back on Thursday night. Takes the first pitch for a strike, the next one on the way. This is hit in the air out to center field. Going back now is Ingraham. He's able to make the catch. And the first two are retired here in the second inning. Michael Ryan hitting one out to right center field in the first inning after Milford had already grabbed a 2-run lead against Kingston. And it took a leaping grab at the wall from Devon King to keep the ball in the yard. He was able to do it to end the inning. Those were two big runs taken off the board, especially with how close the game was in the end. Meanwhile, Cam Cosette trying to keep the inning alive with 2 outs on a 1-0 count. He lines a pitch foul over into the pavilion area in front of the concession stand. That brings the count to 1-1. The next pitch from Kuchar. That one just misses a close pitch. But it's ruled a ball. And a 2-1 count now with Kuchar into his windup. The pitch is hit on the ground towards the right side. The first baseman fields it. He'll need his pitcher to cover. Kuchar is able to get there for the out that ends the inning. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Kuchar and Newburyport here in the bottom of the second. So we head right on to the third inning of play here in the state championship game. We remain scoreless. Stay tuned to coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on First Class Radio. Moving right along to the top of the third inning, you're listening to the 2014 Massachusetts American Legion Baseball State Championship game right here on First Class Radio. And first pitch swinging, the leadoff batter for Newburyport in this inning. Pat Beaton sends one on one hop to Kevin Martinez at first base, who takes it to the bag single-handedly. One pitch and one gone here in the top of the third. And that will bring us back up to the top of Newburyport's lineup. Tyler Chasen now about to take his second at bat. Chasen struck out looking on just 3 pitches against Dan Avery to lead off the ball game. Avery's first pitch is popped up. It's playable on the infield over towards third base. It's Andrew McMillan now ranging towards the pitcher's mound. He makes the catch. And now 2 pitches, and there are 2 outs here in the top of the third. So both pitchers have been on their game here in the early innings. Avery was able to work out of a jam in the second inning with 2 runners on. Kuchar was able to do the same in the first inning, having allowed 2 of the first 3 batters to reach base before getting an inning-ending double play. But for the most part, these 2 pitchers looking like they've brought their A game to the table in this championship game. No balls and 1 strike now on Rosario Missidi, batting with 2 outs and the bases clear. Avery's next pitch misses, bringing the count to 1-1. Missidi grounded out to first base in his last at bat. Now waves and misses at a pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. If one of these 2 teams can advance to the Northeast Regionals, it will be determined by the outcome of this game. The 1-2 pitch is in there for a called strike 3. It is strikeout number 4 in the outing for Dan Avery. And now another 1-2-3 inning in the game. To the bottom of the third we go. It is Milford 0 and Newburyport 0 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball here on WMRC First Class Radio. It is the designated hitter Blake Hill leading it off for Post 59 here in the bottom of the third inning. And Hill takes the first pitch for a called strike against Ryan Kuchar, who had a very nice inning back in the bottom of the second. Hill now lofts a pitch down the left field line. It eludes both third baseman Dan Rose and shortstop Justin Cashman, but it lands in foul ground, just a couple of feet foul. And it's a no ball, 2 strike count on Hill. Blake Hill hitting a solo home run, one of 2 Milford home runs in the game against Kingston back on Thursday night in Sudbury. Readies himself for an 0-2 pitch. It's a swing and a miss, and a quick at bat for Hill. He's the second strikeout victim for Kuchar, and the first out here in the bottom of the third. Now it is Kevin Lynch coming to the plate. Lynch 2 nights ago against Kingston was able to grab a couple of hits Was on base a total of 4 times, hits a ground ball that was just foul wide of first base for a first pitch strike. Now the 0-1 pitch. It's on the outside corner now, 0-2 the count. Still overcast skies here in Milford, but brightening up just a little bit as Kuchar's next pitch misses just a little bit low. And it's now a 1-2 strike count. Kuchar working quickly as he now delivers this pitch that is sliced foul just up over the backstop. As this game continues on, the stands getting more and more full here at Pheno Field as Kevin Lynch swings and misses at that pitch for strike 3. It gets away very briefly from Tyler Chasen, but he completes the out down at first base. It's back-to-back Ks for Ryan Kuchar. 2 outs and the base is empty here in the 3rd inning for Milford, and now it's back to Matt DeCina, who had a rare quick at bat back in the bottom of the 1st inning. He swung at the first pitch from Kuchar and he popped it up in foul ground behind third base, and just at the edge of the field of play, the third baseman Dan Rose was able to make the catch. Really one of the reasons that Matt DeCina is so invaluable as the leadoff hitter is his ability to see a ton of pitches, work counts. Here he hits a ground ball back towards the pitcher's mound, springing off his Kuchar. He makes the grab, he slings it underhand style over to first base for the out that ends the inning. So a couple of quick innings unfolding here early on for both sides. And we will head right on to the 4th inning of play, scoreless in this Massachusetts Legion State Championship game, which you are listening to on WMRC First Class Radio. Not a whole lot of base runners in the last couple of innings. Dan Avery back out there on the mound. He's issued the first 2 in for strikes to Colby Fontaine. Now the next pitch on the way is hit high in the air out to left field. This is deep back towards the wall, and it lands foul. It takes 1 bounce up against the wall just a couple of feet to the left of the foul pole, such as it is out there in left field, just barely extending up over the fence. It is a long way out to left field. It's a long way out to all fields here at Pheno, as we all know. 346 down the left field line. It expands out to 416 out to left center. But Fontaine showing a lot of raw power on that one. Now he tests right field, but again, this ball will twist foul and out of play. It is 432 to right center here at Pheno, 375 down the right field line, and no marker out in straightaway center field, but it's got to be somewhere in the neighborhood of 500 plus feet. Not really a fence to speak of out in center field. There are some goal posts. There's a lot of territory. It's a 2-2 pitch on the way now to Fontaine. He sends it deep out to left field again. DeCina on his horse. He dives. He can't make the play. It's going to roll into the corner. It's extra bases for Fontaine, who hits second base onto third. Here comes the throw. It's not going to be in time. Fontaine able to slide in with a leadoff triple. He was not going to be denied extra bases in that at bat. He hit a lot of pitches hard off of Dan Avery. A couple of them going for foul balls, but this time hitting this one in fair territory down the left field line. A nice effort by Matt DeCina. He covered a lot of ground, went into a full-on dive, but just could not make the grab. And by the time the ball got back into the infield, it was 3 bases for Fontaine. So now an excellent chance for Newburyport to take the lead, as they have a runner at third base with nobody out. And now Dan Rose at the plate, takes the first pitch for a strike. Now an even count of 1-1 on the batter. It's the first triple we've seen in any of the games we've covered here in the tournament. 1 ball and 1 strike the count. The pitch is popped up in foul ground, out of play. Dan Avery, in his first start in the state tournament, had to work out of a lot of danger, particularly in the early innings. 2 separate bases loaded, 1-out jams in the second and third innings. He was able to work his way through and gets a swinging strikeout, an ugly swing right there by Dan Rose. A pitch that was well up and out of the strike zone, but Rose chases and is able to work the strikeout. That's 5 Ks now in the outing for Avery, a big first out. It's still a long way to go. Now, credit to Avery, however, after he was able to get out of those back-to-back innings with the bases loaded, he settled down nicely into the outing. He ended up only giving up 1 unearned run in his 7 innings. Notched 4 strikeouts, did walk 4, which ended up doubling his season total. He deals a first pitch strike into Cam Toohey, who now fouls off the next offering. Glances off the backstop. And now it's a no-ball, 2-strike count on Toohey, who singled through the left side of the infield in his last at-bat. The set by Avery, and the pitch. It is swung on and missed. Strikeout number 6 for Dan Avery. Back-to-back Ks after the leadoff triple. And Avery trying to strand him in at third base for the second inning in his outing. He was able to do so in the second inning. But first has to deal with Colby Ingraham, who sends one out in the air to center field. A long run for Kevin Lynch. He dives and he makes the catch for the out. That ends the inning. Into the gap in right center field. Lynch was able to dive and reel it in, and Newburyport is denied the chance to score. They strand that man at third base. The leadoff triple goes for naught. And we head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is still scoreless here at Pheno Field on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. Terrific play by Kevin Lynch out in center field to deny an RBI hit to Newburyport. And it allows us to play on to the bottom of the 4th inning, still scoreless. Andrew McMillan leading it off. He fouls away the first pitch of this bottom of the 4th inning, now takes a pitch inside and low. That evens the count at a ball and a strike. Nice to see some sturdy defense being turned in here by Post 59 in the early innings of this championship game. We certainly don't need to remind our listeners of the defensive breakdowns that we saw out of Post 59 2 nights ago against Kingston. 7 errors in all. A lot of sloppy plays, a lot of sloppy throws, and it ended up allowing a lot of gift runs to Kingston, which ended up being the difference in the game as it tightened up in the end. The 3-1 pitch into Andrew McMillan is popped foul out of play. And the count will run full. And now in for a called strike 3, a nice pitch from Kuchar. Another strikeout all of a sudden now, starting to tally a bunch in these last 3 innings. He had 1 in the second, 2 in the third, and now 1 to start things off here in the 4th. He's settled into quite a nice groove as now he deals strike 1 into Dan Mantoni, who has the only hit of the day so far for Post 59. He singled back in the 1st inning in what looked like it was going to be a promising 1st inning for Post 59. A 1-out walk followed by the base hit, but then a double play ended the inning, and Milford has not seen a base runner since. Mantoni hits one deep out into right center field. That gets down for a base hit. It's going to roll away from the center fielder, Ingraham. Hitting second base is Mantoni. He hustles on to third base where he will get there with a stand-up triple. And that brings this Post 59 crowd to life. Now the second triple we've seen in the game. Fontaine getting one for Newburyport in the top half of this 4th inning. He was stranded there at third base, getting that triple with no outs. Mantoni able to get the triple with 2 outs. Playing with a couple of stitches above his eye after that ground ball he ended up taking up in the face in the game against Kingston. Needed some significant treatment out on the field, but stayed in the game, and He's been hitting well since. He gets a triple here to put the potential first run of the day for Milford at third base. Kevin Martinez at the plate now, who was taking the first two pitches for strikes. Down in the count, 0-2. Kuchar ready with another offering. This is hit in the air in foul ground behind first base. Ranging over is Fontaine, but that is out into the crowd. It is a loud and bustling crowd here at Pheno Field. A decent amount of fans from Newburyport making the trip out here, but as you would expect with this being Milford's home ballpark, it is the Milford fans who dominate. No balls and 2 strikes remains the count to Kevin Martinez. Here is the pitch, and it misses outside, and a nice play by Tyler Chasen, the catcher, to keep that one from going to the backstop. Kuchar sets up shop back on the pitching rubber. Now here's his 1-2 pitch. It's a line drive that gets past the dive of the second baseman, Missidi, out into right center field. Dan Mantoni crosses the plate with the first run of the day. And the first lead in this championship game belongs to Post 59. They take the 1-0 lead. An RBI single for Kevin Martinez. 3-4 hitters coming through here in the top of the 4th inning. And no doubt Newburyport feeling the frustration knowing they had a potential run at third base with no outs in the top half of this inning, but couldn't cash in. Milford able to take care of business here in the 4th to take that all-important first lead. And now Joe White looking to keep things going offensively. He hits a little nubber out towards the pitcher's mound. Ranging over to make the play is Kuchar, and his throw to first base gets there just before Joe White. He's retired 1-3 on the ground out. Advancing to second base with now 2 outs is Kevin Martinez.
2 outs, who's got it?
A man in scoring position ahead of Michael Ryan. The first pitch from Kuchar is in for strike 1. Cam Cosette taking his practice cuts on deck. Kevin Martinez leads off of second base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's hit on the ground towards second base. This time, Missidi is there to make the play. He throws on to first for the out that ends the inning, but an RBI single by Kevin Martinez gives Milford the first lead of the day. They lead it 1-0 over Newburyport here on coverage of the 2014 Massachusetts Legion State Championship game here on First Class Radio. Milford able to grab a run in the bottom of the 4th inning, so as we head into the top of the 5th, it's 1-0 in favor of Post 59 as Dan Avery is back out there dealing with batters 7, 8, and 9. And the first man, Justin Cashman, up with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. Cashman struck out swinging against Avery in his last at bat. Takes a pitch that misses low and away. And the count now 2-1. The next pitch from Avery, it's hit off the end of the bat, foul off to the right and out of play. The count evens at 2. Bob Barry, the right fielder, waiting on deck. Avery into his windup. The next pitch just off the outside edge. And the count runs full. No walks so far in the game for Avery. But in danger of walking his first here. Here's the payoff pitch. And it misses off the outside edge for ball 4. So Cashman, after swinging at a bad pitch to strike out in his last at bat, he's able to work a walk. And once again, Newburyport has the leadoff man on base. It's the 2nd straight inning that they've had the leadoff man on. They've had that leadoff runner aboard in 3 of the last 4 innings. And now a pop-up foul and out of play out of Bob Barry starts him off with a count of 0-1. Avery takes a deep breath. Now a quick pickoff check over at first base, and sliding back in was Cashman. Bob Barry called out on strikes to end the second inning. That stranded 2 men on base. A late timeout was granted by the home plate umpire. Dan Avery just went ahead and threw the pitch, which is always the best thing to do in a situation like that. You always hate to see a pitcher awkwardly halt his delivery. Can sometimes lead to injury as this pitch is hit hard back up the middle. That gets through for a base hit. Mantoni couldn't range over to make the grab. And it's 2 on with nobody out for Newburyport. They have the tying and go-ahead runs on base. Cashman now moves up to second base. Barry at first after the single. It's the 4th hit of the game for Newburyport. They are out-hitting Milford now 4-3. Milford with the 1-run lead, but things developing here for Newburyport in this top of the 5th inning. As Pat Beaton, the DH, comes up for the second time. He grounded out to first base in his only plate appearance so far. He starts out with a called strike 1. Runners leading off of first and second base. Kevin Martinez not holding on the runner at first, as this pitch comes in inside and low on Beaton to even the count at 1-1. Beaton, a right-handed batter against the right-handed throwing Dan Avery. He lofts a pitch out into right field. Ranging over is Cam Cosette. He makes the catch. Tagging at second base and going on to third on a heads-up base running play is Justin Cashman. Able to read well that Cosette was going to be able to make the catch. Tags up and moves to third now with 1 out, so the tying run looming over at third base for post 150. Runners at the corners and 1 down for Newburyport as they will go third time through the batting order. Tyler Chasen, who is 0 for 2, coming to the plate. The lefty batter will have to wait for his first pitch as Avery sends a pickoff throw over to first. But back in safely was Barry. Now Avery comes home. The first pitch to Chasen is popped up over the backstop, out of play. Chasen batted leadoff for this team earlier this week when they faced Milford. Ended up going 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. The 0-1 pitch in is a called strike 2. Avery's been able to come through with strikeouts in key situations through these early innings. Looking to do it again here, 0-2 the count as Avery steps off the pitching rubber momentarily. Now gets back up there into his set position. He comes home with the pitch that's hit off the end of the bat and will make its way out of play off to the right. Count stays 0-2. As Jeff Pasazzi tosses a couple of fresh baseballs back onto the field. 0-2 the count to the Newburyport catcher Tyler Chasen as Avery deals another pickoff throw over towards first base. An easier time for Barry getting back to the bag. Now coming home is Avery as that pitch glances right off the top of the hitter's backstop. Still 0-2 the count. A good battle being put on here. The next pitch from Avery, he wastes one up high. Cannot entice Chasen to chase. Runners leading off of first and third for Newburyport. Now a 1-2 pitch coming in, and they'll check on the swing to the infield umpire. No swing. The pitch looked close. It may have missed a little bit low. So working hard is Chasen as the count now to 2-2. The next pitch, this is hit on the ground. It's going to get through the right side, out into right field, and into score from third base comes Justin Cashman, and this game is tied up at 1-1. Credit Tyler Chasen. He put on a very good at bat. He was down quickly, fouled off several pitches, worked the count back to 2-2 before getting the single that has knotted this game up at 1. Avery was able to pitch out of a couple of jams early on. Couldn't escape this inning unscathed. There's still only 1 out in the inning with runners now at first and second base. Barry moving down to second base on that hit. Now 0-1 the count to Rosario Masidi. He takes a pitch outside. Michael Ryan to his feet. Looking the runner at second base back to the bag. The 1-1 pitch is hit in the air out to left field. Coming in hard is Matt Dessina. Out is Andrew McMillan. It lands in fair territory. Rounding third base and coming in to score the go-ahead run is Bob Barry. Just a little looping line drive from the city, but it was well placed. Dessina and McMillan could not get there. And things have turned around in a hurry in this game, in this top of the 5th inning. Newburyport able to plate 2 runs, and now they lead it by a score of 2-1. Chasen and Masidi with back-to-back RBI singles, and now Colby Fontaine skies a pitch out to center field. This one is catchable for Kevin Lynch. He makes the play, and finally the second out is recorded here. It's certainly a sigh of relief for Milford fans that Fontaine went quickly and quietly in this at-bat after hitting a lot of hard balls, and his at-bat back in the 4th inning ending up with the triple. 2 away now with runners at first and second ahead of Dan Rose. Rose waves and misses at the first pitch for strike 1. 1 for 2 so far for the Newburyport third baseman. He singled in the second and then struck out swinging in the 4th. The next pitch from Avery. It hits the outside corner for strike 2. A quick snap throw to first base from Michael Ryan. The runner was able to get back. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, 2 runs home so far for Newburyport. They have another 2 on the base paths as Avery is looking to shut down this rally. Here's the pitch. It misses up and away. Playing on here in the top of the 5th inning. Runners lead away again as Avery and Ryan get on the same page. Now the next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Dan Avery. That out ends the inning, but not before Newburyport is able to send 7 men to the plate. They're able to get a couple of big runs, and now into the bottom of the 5th inning we go with Newburyport on top 2-1 here on coverage of the 2014 Massachusetts Legion State Championship on First Class Radio. 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors for Newburyport. 1 run on 3 hits with no errors for Milford Post 59. After briefly taking the lead in the bottom of the 5th inning, Milford now staring up at a 1-run deficit as Post 150 was able to grab 3 hits off of Dan Avery in the 5th inning. 2 of those going for RBI base hits as now Cam Cosette sends a soft line drive to shortstop. Making the play is Justin Cashman, and the leadoff man retired. Milford sending the bottom third of their order to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. Hill retired. Now Blake Hill sends the first pitch foul to the backstop. So it's Milford taking the 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 4th, with Newburyport responding in the top of the 5th. A leadoff walk proving to be trouble for Dan Avery in that top of the 5th inning. And after another foul ball from Blake Hill, he is down in the count 0-2 against Ryan Kuchar, who has been very sharp. Hill holds up on the swing, and the pitch misses a little bit high, and the count goes to 1-2. Milford able to get a big hit last inning with a triple from Dan Mantoni, followed by a soft single by Kevin Martinez that plated their run. Kuchar able to quickly shut down the rally from there. 2 balls and 2 strikes now, the count to Blake Hill, who is frozen on a called 3rd strike. That's the 5th strikeout for Kuchar, who was developing a nice storyline for himself throughout this tournament. He took the place at first base for Ralph Francisconi, the usual starting first baseman and number 3 hitter in the lineup. We'll get to that story in more detail a little bit later in the broadcast as Kevin Lynch, first pitch swinging, sends a ground ball to the right side for the out that quickly ends the inning. So Milford goes down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 5th. We've now played 5 full innings in the state championship game, and Milford trails Newburyport by a score of 2-1 here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball on First Class Radio. The Milford bats continue to struggle against Newburyport starter Ryan Kuchar, and they have already entered now into the top of the 6th inning. This game only about 60 minutes old. They were able to get first pitch right around 4:15. Here we are now at 5:15 in this 9-inning long state championship game as Dan Avery returns to the hill. He will face Cam Toohey, Colby Ingraham, and Justin Cashman here in this top of the 6th inning, with Newburyport leading 2-1. An 0-1 pitch now on the way, and hits the outside edge. Now 0-2 the count to Toohey, who has singled and struck out. One of just 2 Newburyport batters who didn't come to the plate in that 5th inning rally. Off balance swing, and he hits one foul out of play off to the right. We're back here at Pheno Field for one more game here in 2014. We thought that Pheno was shut down for the long off season, but by a lot of sheer happenstance over the course of this week with unexpected weather complications, we return here for this state final. Now a close pitch does not go Avery's way. Misses into Toohey. And now he hits this one in the air out to center field. Pretty deep, ranging back is Decina, now backpedaling, but he has it for the first out of the inning. Better news for Dan Avery in this inning as he's able to get the leadoff man retired, and now it's Colby Ingraham, the batter, getting the start in center field. Ingraham with a sacrifice bunt back in the 2nd inning, then flew out to center field in the 4th. He swings at the first pitch and lofts it up over the backstop out of play. Ingraham ready, as is Dan Avery. The next pitch is hit off the end of the bat to the opposite field. This is going to get down and right for a hit. It rolls away from Cam Cosette. He couldn't cut it off, and that will result in extra bases for Ingraham. Able to slice that one out to right field, just going with the pitch. Gets down for a base hit. Cosette couldn't quite cover the ground to keep the ball in front, and that allowed Ingraham to get into second base with the 1-out double. The second extra base hit notched by Newburyport. A runner at second base with 1 out ahead of Justin Cashman, who fouls the first pitch off at the plate for strike 1. Milford is occupying their usual spot here at home in the first base dugout, with Newburyport down the third base line. That was the same dugout that Newburyport occupied in their first game today. Remember, they've already played 9 full innings previous to this game, defeating Kingston in walk-off fashion by a final score of 3-2. So you have to imagine that while they may be a bit tired after a long day of baseball, that was a big emotional boost, seeing that walk-off win, allowing themselves to play in this championship game. And it's really just that question of what wins out, the emotions and the momentum, or the tired state of these players' bodies. And right now Newburyport has done enough to take a 2-1 lead. They have a runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the 6th. And the 0-2 pitch into Justin Cashman is fouled to the backstop. Still playing precipitation free here in Milford. Another 0-2 pitch and another foul ball, and we've seen a little bit more of this out of Newburyport over these last few innings. Some lengthy at-bats with a lot of foul balls. That was the case for Tyler Chase in last inning that ended up leading to the first of back-to-back RBI singles. No hit this time for Cashman as he takes a pitch for a called third strike. He disagreed, but he takes with him strikeout number 8 in the game for Dan Avery. And you sometimes see Dan Avery alter his style of pitching depending on the situation that he's in, whether he wants to pitch more to contact or work the strikeouts. Obviously with 8 Ks so far in his outing, that has been his plan, to try to keep pitches away from the bats of these Newburyport hitters. Starts off with a 0-1 count to Bob Barry. Now 1 ball and 1 strike. Barry was able to reach base last inning, came around to score on the RBI hit by Masidi. The hit that gave Newburyport the lead. An RBI opportunity here with a man in scoring position and 2 outs. Takes another close pitch. There haven't been many that have missed badly for Dan Avery. He's had very good command. He steps off the pitching rubber as he takes stock of Colby Ingraham at second base. He doubled with 1 out, remains there now with 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Holding up the swing was Barry, and now he finds himself ahead in the count, 3-1. Should Barry reach Pat Beaton, the DH would be the next batter. Set by Avery. Now the pitch. Hits it on the ground, foul, off to the left. Milford does have action in the bullpen. David Sampson starting to loosen. Avery pitching here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning with a runner at second base and a 3-ball, 2-strike count. Avery ready. The batter, Bob Barry, is ready. The pitch on the way, and it misses outside for ball 4. Avery loses the battle. Barry trots down to first base now. Runners at first and second. And Beaton will have a chance to come to the plate. 0 for 2 so far out of the number 9 spot in the order. Grounded out 3 unassisted in the 3rd inning. Popped out to Cam Cosette out in right field in the 5th. He swings at the first pitch and pops it up out into right field again. Out is Joe White, but he is eventually called off by Cam Cosette, who had the much easier look. And he makes the catch for the out that ends the inning. So Newburyport strands 2 base runners. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning now. It remains Newburyport 2 and Milford 1 here in this Legion State Championship game for the state of Massachusetts, which you are listening to here on WMRC First Class Radio. Matt Tessina leading off this inning. He hits one on the ground to shortstop, but it gets through the legs of Justin Cashman and out into left field. Milford catches a break. That looked to be a nice, easy first out of the inning on the first pitch. A miscue out there by Cashman. And that is the first error we've seen on either side so far. It allows Tessina to reach now ahead of Andrew McMillan. He now drops a bunt down the 3rd base line. It's a good one. Having to field it as the catcher. He throws to first base, but no chance. A terrific bunt drop down by Andrew McMillan. The only question was, would it stay fair? It had kicked from the infield grass onto the dirt of the 3rd base line. There is a chance it could have rolled foul, but the catcher, Chasen, deciding to aggressively make the play. He spun around and threw well off the mark to first base. Fontaine coming off the bag to field the throw. So a bunt base hit from Andrew McMillan puts the tying run at second base, the go-ahead run at first base with nobody out. And the big bats now coming up for post 59, Dan Mantoni, who is 2 for 2. He settles into the right side batter's box. The first pitch in from Kuchar is good for strike 1. Antoni singled back in the first inning. He tripled and came in to score in the fourth. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's hit on, popped up into center field. Ranging over is Ingraham. He's there to make the catch, tagging at second base and moving on to third is DeCina. Here's the throw. It's not in time now. Moving up on the throw into second base is Andrew McMillan. Good base running by both runners for post 59. DeCina able to slide in safely to third base. And the throw from Bob Barry out in right field went all the way to third. And noticing that was McMillan, and he is able to get himself into scoring position as well. So second and third now with only one out for Milford, and here is Kevin Martinez. Martinez with Milford's run batted in. It came on a single back in inning number 4. He swings at the first pitch and misses. That pitch fell off the table at the end from Kuchar. Good late movement. And now after that pitch, the head coach for Newburyport, Tim Southall, heads out to the mound with lineup card in hand. Wondering if maybe Kuchar was on a strict pitch count here as he delivers a first pitch strike into Kevin Martinez. Now the coach out there. Turns out no move will be made. He heads right back to the dugout. A curious time for a coach's visit. So it's a no ball, 1 strike count on Martinez. 2 in scoring position. They've pulled the infield in all the way around. Now the 0-1 pitch on the way. It hits the outside corner and Martinez is down 0-2. Martinez also grounded into a double play in this game. Here's the 0-2 pitch. It's hit on and driven out to left field. That gets down for a base hit. Into score comes Matt DeCina. They'll wave Andrew McMillan to the plate. The throw is cut off on the infield. It's a 2-run single for Kevin Martinez that puts post 59 back on top 3-2. Martinez taking that 0-2 pitch up over the leap of the shortstop Cashman out into left field, and you can see the good base running for post 59 paid off, allowing 2 men to get into scoring position, and they both come around as now Kevin Martinez has driven in all 3 runs so far in the game for Milford. As they leapfrog back into the lead, 3-2. The count now 0-1 on Joe White. As the fans are back in this game, they've gotten quiet around Fino, with Newburyport leading. 1-1 now the count to Joe White, who's looking for his first hit today. He swings at this pitch, hits it out into center field, but in his tracks, Colby Ingraham is there to make the catch. Martinez retreats to first base with now 2 outs. And now here comes Michael Ryan, who has flown out to center field and grounded out to second base. 0-2. The first pitch in from Kuchar hits the out inside corner for strike 1. Michael Ryan with 2 hits 2 nights ago against Kingston. And also walked. Takes a pitch up and away to even the count at 1-1. Overall on the season, Ryan batting .337, providing nice punch from this catcher spot, and also the number 6 spot in the batting order, which is where he has operated out of for the majority of the season. He's down in the count now, 1 ball and 2 strikes with Kevin Martinez cautiously leading at first. He takes off, the pitch is hit out to left center field, and a dive out there in left field by Cam Toohey, and he is able to make the catch. That looked like it was going to sneak into the gap and could have potentially meant another run for Milford, but that is the latest of a string of fine defensive plays we have seen on both sides. Cam Toohey denying the base hit to Michael Ryan, and that will end the inning. But A big two-run single by Kevin Martinez propels Milford back into the lead 3-2 as we head to the 7th inning of the state championship game here on First Class Radio. This game so far has been everything you would expect to see out of a championship game. Good pitching, clutch defense, big hits in crucial situations, and none bigger than the two-run single we saw out of Kevin Martinez in the bottom of the 6th inning that allowed Milford to retake the lead 3-2, and a lead now for Milford as they come out to pitch in this top of the 7th inning, and it will be a new pitcher on the mound for Post 59 as Coach DeVito goes to his bullpen to start this 7th inning. He brings in David Sampson after Dan Avery was able to pitch the first 6. He allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. It is a little surprising to see Avery out of the game this early. You would have thought he would maybe at least be able to come out and start this inning, but Coach DeVito allowing Sampson to come out to start a clean inning here in the 7th. We did see him pitch the final 3 innings to notch the save against this very team earlier in the week. He's pitching now with a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes against Tyler Chasen. Sampson staring into Michael Ryan for the sign. Gives the high leg kick, and the 1-2 pitch is hit on one hop right back into the glove of Sampson. He takes it most of the way and then makes the underhand flip to Kevin Martinez at first base for the first out of the inning. So Dan Avery, again, just 2 runs allowed on 7 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 8. Allowed both of his runs in the 5th inning. And now Sampson delivers a fastball for a first pitch strike into Rosario Masidi. Jason and Masidi going back-to-back with RBI singles in that 5th inning to give Newburyport the lead at the time. That lead erased on that 2-run single by Martinez in the previous half inning. We're now in the top of the 7th. 1 out and the base is empty. As Sampson deals an 0-2 pitch into Masidi and gets a swing and a miss. That's the 2nd strikeout of the day for Masidi. The 1st strikeout for Sampson, the 9th strikeout for Milford pitching. And it's 2 up and 2 down here in the 7th inning. It was a terrific outing out of David Sampson in relief back on Tuesday night as he delivers the first pitch into Fontaine, and it's hit in the air down the right field line, twisting foul, and it will land foul. Racing over was Cam Cosette, but that one deep in foul ground off of right field. But Sampson able to pitch 3 innings, allowing just 1 hit. He struck out 5. Has the first 2 batters here in the 7th inning, and now a called strike on the inside edge against Fontaine. Brings the count to 0-2. Colton Fontaine, excuse me. 1 for 3 so far in the game. He hits one again. Far and foul off to the right. It stays 0-2. Sampson ready to deal another. Here it is. And that one misses outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes now the count. Fontaine a triple back in the 4th inning. A leadoff triple. But Avery was able to get back-to-back strikeouts and a flyout. Here's the 1-2 pitch. This is hit high in the air out to left field. Racing over is DeCina into foul ground. Still going. He's there, and he makes the catch in foul territory. The ball continues to jump off of Fontaine's bat, but this one stays in the yard. And in foul ground, DeCina's able to make the catch. It's a 1-2-3 top of the 7th, as Milford now is 6 defensive outs away from back-to-back state titles, but still a long way to go. You don't want to leave Your radios now. Stay tuned to coverage of Milford Legion baseball on First Class Radio. As we get started here in the bottom of the 7th inning, we will see a pinch hitter for Milford Post 59. It will be Scott DeCapua coming to the plate in the place of Cam Cosette. DeCapua takes the first pitch on the outside edge for strike one. Ryan Kuchar, the starting pitcher for Newburyport, continues to work. And now a 1-ball, 1-strike count, so Cam Cosette having an opportunity to play one final game here at Pheno Field. He exits here in the 7th inning, replaced by DeCapua, who now fouls a pitch away and is down in the count, 1-2. From one recent Milford High School grad to another in this 7th spot in the batting order. And you have to imagine that it's meant a lot to both Cosette and DeCapua, amongst the other Milford High players represented here on Post 59, to get one last chance here at Pheno Field. DeCapua with a called 3rd strike. He goes down as out number 1 here in the bottom of the 7th. A year ago, it only took 7 innings to secure the state championship, but this year playing a full 9. Milford will have to protect this lead for a little bit longer, as now Blake Hill swings at the first pitch. He hits it on one bounce back to Kuchar, who throws to first, and there are quickly 2 away. And so far, the bottom third of this Milford lineup has yet to reach base. Combined 0 for 8 now ahead of Kevin Lynch, who bats with 2 outs. Lynch swings at the first pitch, pops it foul, out of play. We'll see if Blake Hill comes out of the DH spot to take over defensively out in right field, when Milford heads back out defensively for the top of the 8th. Meanwhile, it's a 0-2 count on Lynch. Kuchar looking for another 1-2-3 inning. This next pitch misses down and away. It gets away from the glove of Chasen. Kuchar has had 3 1-2-3 innings so far in his outing, as now Lynch hits a ball on the ground wide of third base. Coach DeVito grabs it, flips it to the third baseman Rose, who then sends it back on to his pitcher. Lynch a strikeout and a ground out so far on the day. Here's another 1-ball, 2-strike pitch, and a close one that just misses. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in this bottom of the 7th inning. The next pitch on the way, and it's down in the dirt. If Lynch can reach, it would turn the lineup over. Milford still only with 5 hits in the game, but they lead where it counts in the run column. And here's the 3-2 pitch. It misses low for ball 4. Lynch able to work the walk. That is just the 2nd walk for Kuchar, and his first walk since all the way back in the 1st inning. And so now Matt DeCina will have a chance. He reached on what turned out to be a crucial error by Justin Cashman at shortstop last inning. DeCina came around to score the game's tying run. One of Milford's 3 runs in this game unearned. 1 ball and no strikes on DeCina. DeCina also popped out and grounded out in his other 2 at-bats on the day, so he has yet to collect a base hit. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's hit out to right center field. Racing over is Ingraham. Barry's over there as well. The dive for Ingraham. He can't get there. Coming all the way around from first base, being waved home is Kevin Lynch. He will score without a throw. It turns out to be an RBI double for Matt DeCina. That puts a 4th run on the scoreboard for Milford. They lead it 4-2. A little 2-out magic here for Post 59. A good effort for Ingraham going into the dive, but he ended up landing several feet away from the baseball. And 2 bases for DeCina, and certainly having the speed of Kevin Lynch on the bases didn't help. He was able to come all the way, or it did help, excuse me. being able to come all the way around from first base to score. Matt DeCina now 1 for 4 with an RBI. And Post 59 with a 2-run lead. And it looked like this was going to be a quick inning once again for Ryan Kuchar. The walks have come back to hurt now both pitchers in this game. Dan Avery with a walk back in the 5th inning that resulted in a run scoring, a 2-out walk for Kuchar, and that quickly came back to hurt for a run scored. And now a chance for Andrew McMillan, who swings at the first pitch and drives it far but foul off to the left. Andrew McMillan with a textbook bunt single in his last at bat. He is 1 for 2. Also walked back in the first. Takes the pitch for a called strike 2, now down in the count, 0-2. 4-2 now, Milford in front. The 0-2 pitch just misses. Kuchar now back on the rubber. A quick peek at DeCina at second base, now fires to the plate. And it's a ground ball foul that gets past the first base coach's box. Doesn't appear to be any action warming for Post 150. This remains Kuchar's game for now. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's hit on the ground towards second base, fielded by Masidi. He throws to first for the out that ends the inning. But Milford with a 2-out rally, the walk by Kevin Lynch, and then the double by Matt DeCina. They're able to tally another run. They lead this game 4-2 as we head to the 8th inning of this 2014 Massachusetts Legion State Championship on WMRC First Class Radio. New Construction Equipment Rentals. David Sampson out for his 2nd inning of relief. He deals the first pitch into Dan Rose for a called strike 1. Rose singled back in the 2nd inning and has struck out in his 2 at-bats since. The 0-1 pitch now on the way. It's a swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Milford now with a 2-run lead over Newburyport. The score 4-2. And now a swing and a miss. 3 pitches and 3 strikes, and Rose goes down frustrated. As he heads right back into the dugout, discarding the bat quickly. The 2nd strikeout for David Sampson since coming into the game, and that's now an even 10 strikeouts for Post 59 pitching. The bases are empty with 1 out for Cam Toohey, who swings at the first pitch and pops it up out to left field. Jogging in is Matt DeCina. He settles it into the glove. And quickly, there are 2 outs here in the 8th inning. A 2nd straight state championship, now just 4 defensive outs away for Post 59. Colby Ingraham now coming to the plate with the bases empty and 2 down. He doubled in his last at bat. Sampson's pitch, and it misses inside and low for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch is waved at and missed. Ingraham fooled on the pitch from Sampson. Count evens at 1-1. Justin Cashman on deck, hoping for a chance as Ingraham now lifts this pitch in the air, foul off to the right, out towards the parking lot, which is filled to capacity as you see an enormous crowd out here at Pheno Field for this championship game. 1-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. It is a 1-2-3 inning for David Sampson, and we head to the 9th inning. Could Milford be closing in on that 2nd straight state championship? Well, we have 1 inning left to decide it here on WMRC First Class Radio. We have reached the bottom of the 8th inning, getting a little over anxious in my call of the top half of the 8th inning. Milford will head to the 9th inning with an opportunity to close out a win, but first we need to get through this bottom of the 8th inning. It will be Dan Mantoni Kevin Martinez and Joe White coming to the plate here in this bottom of the 8th. As we look ahead to the 9th, it will be the bottom third of the Newburyport order. Looking to keep things alive as now Dan Mantoni swings at the first pitch. And he is able to single out into center field, getting that one down on a hop ahead of Colby Ingraham. It is the third hit of the game for Dan Mantoni, having the opportunity to play another game here on Fino Field, a place that he has called home for each of the last 5 summers. Mantoni having a terrific day at the plate. And now Kevin Martinez at the plate. He takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Kevin Martinez with 3 of the 4 runs batted in this game. Tried to check the swing. Check to see if he held up. They pointed down to third base. There is no umpire at that location. Eventually getting confirmation that there was no swing, so it goes to a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The pitch on the way, fouled off the end of the bat to the backstop. There is a new pitcher on. We should let you know here for Newburyport. After Kuchar went the first 7 innings, it is now Justin Cashman on to pitch. Cashman, who of course made the start against Milford back on Tuesday night. Trying to hold the deficit at 2 runs to give his team one last chance. He's allowed a leadoff base runner as now this time Kevin Martinez goes around on the swing on the 1-2 count, so he is down on strikes. 2 for 4 now is the day to this point for Kevin Martinez. Joe White, who is 0 for 3, now striding up, digging in on the left side batter's box. First pitch in from Cashman. This is for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Dan Mantoni creeping out to a lead at first base. This one is hit off the end of the bat. It stays a fair ball down the third base line, but unable to get a handle on it was Rose, and everyone will be safe. That hopped into foul territory right away, but then rolled right back fair, stayed fair all the way down the line, and Rose just had a hard time getting a handle on the baseball as he had to straddle the third base bag. I think that would go as an error on Rose. That's the second error committed on the day for Post 150. It puts runners at first and second base with 1 out ahead of Michael Ryan. Ryan, who has flown out, grounded out to second base and lined out to left field. And what was a terrific catch made by Bob Barry. A diving catch. Milford with a runner on after they had scored 2 runs, but Barry able to turn in the nice defensive play to end the inning. So Ryan up again here with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. With 2 runners aboard. Here's the pitch from Cashman. It's hit on the ground towards first base. This will advance the runners. It's in and out of the glove of Colton Fontaine, but he is able to make the play to first base. 2 outs here in this bottom of the 8th inning. Ryan held hitless on the day, and now we will see Brendan Pounds take his first at bat of this championship game. Pounds came on defensively out in right field in the previous half inning after Cam Cosette was pinch hit for back in the 7th. Pounds takes the first pitch for a called strike. Pounds seeing limited action so far in these playoffs. He did reach base in Thursday's game against Kingston. He appeared late, came into the game in the 9th inning, worked a walk, ended up scoring a run. About to see a 1-1 pitch from Justin Cashman. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now the count. Two big insurance runs in scoring position here for Milford. A hit could allow both of them to score if Pounds can come through. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cashman stares over the glove for the sign. He hesitates. Now goes into his windup. Here is the pitch, and it misses outside. Dan Mantoni led off this inning with a single. Joe White reached on an error. Both runners in scoring position. Pounds ready to see his next pitch. It is on the way, and it's hit off the end of the bat foul. It will be picked up by Blake Hill, who waits in the on-deck circle. He hopes to come to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, and 2 runners in scoring position. Cashman into the full windup. Here is the pitch, and it misses up and away. Pounds working the count full. And again, the runners work their way out to a lead. Cashman's 3-2 pitch, and it misses up and in for ball 4. And Milford will load the bases. Pounds now at first base with White at second and Mantoni at third. And Blake Hill, the young first-year player, about to step in. Blake Hill so far today has struck out twice and grounded out back to the pitcher. A brief meeting going on at the mound between the head coach of Newburyport and the relief pitcher Justin Cashman. Coach DeVito taking that opportunity to give a few words to his young batter before Blake Hill steps into the plate. He does so now up at the left side batter's box. The lefty batter against the righty throwing Justin Cashman. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat, and it's popped up out into shallow left field. The shortstop ranges out, and catch is made for the out that ends the inning. So 1 pitch and 1 out for Blake Hill, and that ends the inning. Milford strands the bases loaded. Milford now will head into the top of the 9th inning, 3 outs away from a second straight state championship. Can they do it? We will find out next here on coverage of Milford Legion Baseball in this 2014 state tournament right here on First Class Radio. We have watched the first 8 innings of this championship game unfold. Milford took the first lead at 1-0. Newburyport was able to grab a couple of runs to briefly hold a 2-1 lead, but the lead currently belongs once again to Post 59 by a score of 4-2. They are 3 outs away from securing back-to-back state titles and a trip to the Northeast Regionals. As David Sampson is back out on the mound for this 9th inning, and he is quickly ahead of Justin Cashman by a count of 0-2. Cashman, a couple of strikeouts and a walk on the day. The 0-2 pitch misses up and away, and the count goes to 1-2. David Sampson has been in this situation before. He pitched the final inning against Lowell to secure the state title a year ago. Here Cashman lofts a pitch out into left field. Out goes Mantoni, in comes Tessina. It is Matt Tessina, the left fielder, who makes the catch. And the leadoff batter is retired. 2 outs away now, as the number 8 hitter Bob Barry comes to the plate. Barry, a hit, a walk, and a strikeout. All of that transpiring against Dan Avery. David Sampson has so far pitched 2 scoreless innings of relief. He has the first out here in the 9th and deals in a strike to Bob Barry. 0-1 the count, the next pitch on the way, and it's swung on and missed. Sampson bringing that good live fastball here to this 9th inning. 0-2 the count. Sampson back into his windup. Here's the pitch, and it's swung on and missed for strike 3. A 3-pitch strikeout of Barry, and the state title is just 1 out away. 2 outs and the base is empty in the 9th inning. The last hope for Newburyport rests in their designated hitter, Pat Beaton. Beaton is 0 for 3. He's grounded out to first base and popped out to right field twice. A few quick words exchanged between Michael Ryan and David Sampson before this at-bat begins. Most of the Milford dugout standing as the first pitch is swung on and missed from Beaton. 0-1 the count. Milford defeating Lowell Post 87 to secure the title last year. The 0-1 pitch is in on the outside corner. 0-2 the count. And the fans on the edge of their seat here. 0-2 the count. The base is empty. 2 outs in this 9th inning. 1 strike away from repeating as state champions. David Sampson into the windup. Here is the pitch. It's swung on and missed for strike 3. And the ball game is over. Milford storms the field for the 2nd straight season. They pigpile in front of the pitcher's mound. They will repeat as Massachusetts state champions. Everyone now racing in from the outfield. A similar sight to what we saw back in 2013 as Post 59 comes through with a 4-2 win. They are the 2014 Massachusetts state champions and will represent the state of Massachusetts in the 2014 Northeast Regional Tournament. What a game between these two teams. A low-scoring game, terrific pitching on both sides, but Milford able to come away on top. They win again by a final score of 4-2. We will see a trophy presentation a little bit later as they are now going to immediately get the field ready. Both teams now shaking hands. A terrific battle. And congratulations to Newburyport, Post 150, able to come through with a gritty win earlier this afternoon against Kingston to earn a rematch against Milford. But Post 59, after trailing in the middle innings 2-1, are able to see RBI hits in this game by Kevin Martinez and also Matt DeCina to come away with the 4-2 victory. So we will take a very quick break before we have our usual post-game show. We will bring you live audio of this trophy presentation, which will come your way next year on WMRC First Class Radio.
Hey, bring a row, baby. Bring a row. This guy.
We'll have plenty of pitches.
It will too.
Woohoo!
Coach.
And my grandson Dylan.
What a job.
Hey,
Tony from American Legion Baseball. I'm pretty so proud of you. Yeah, so proud. I just had
Hey, Duddy backed up. I said, I'm gone.
Now being held by a number of the Post 59 players as it's unraveled. And now it looks like we'll get a photo opportunity. Everyone's going to crowd around the banner. This is, of course, the big difference from a year ago. Milford certainly relishes that state championship from a year ago, but due to different playoff format, that interstate title in 2013 was the highest level Milford could reach. That is not the case this year. They will have an opportunity to test their mettle against the top teams in this region as they will represent the entire state of Massachusetts in the Northeast Regionals. That tournament will kick off on August 7th. So Milford will have a couple of days to rest and recuperate before they will play against some of the top teams again in this region.
Hey, listen up. This is your traveling trophy. Your name's been on here before. Right now. And this off this way. You hold on to that now. Hold on to you. Roger, look at that. Thank you.
Unreal. I can't even put it into words. Like, I'm just so pumped up right now. I just want to hang out with my team tonight, and I want to keep going in the regionals. As a team, we all knew that we were going to go. Not realistically, but like we all had faith in our teammates that we were going to be able to make it again. So, yeah.
All right. Fina.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you had a big hit in the game. How did it feel? Talk about that at bat.
Felt great. Lynchy did a good job getting a walk, work his way on, and then luckily I just got a ball I could put in the outfield, and he scored. He's got good wheels. It's nuts. It's honestly better than the first time.
Yeah.
Better than the first time, yeah.
Why would you say that?
Get to keep playing.
Just keep playing. Contributed more this year.
We get to play better teams.
Yeah. Now we get to go to Connecticut.
Nice.
Yep.
Better than the first? No, it's great. It's an unreal feeling, and we just go out and enjoy it, and hopefully we can continue playing well. I mean, now we have another trophy ahead of us that hopefully we can take too. I was just looking for something, a fastball to drive, trying to get the inning started, and like more often than not, Kevin came through and drove me in, and he's been doing that all year, and he did it twice today, which is huge. So it was nice to see, the kids coming up and getting the big at bats behind me too. Oh, it's awesome. I mean, there's nothing better than, your last year, winning not only your last game at Fino, but a state championship here at Fino Field, the place you've been playing forever. And so it's a pretty special feeling all around. Yeah, but I mean, it certainly, upped the stakes a little bit, because the one thing you don't kind of would have been terrible to lose, the state championship on your home field. But I mean, it was fun. It certainly made it a lot better atmosphere, and it was cool seeing all the people from Milford come out, and it was a big game, and it was awesome to win it here.
Oh, surreal, just like the last one. No better feeling than this right now. I mean, lost the words, but all you can say is what a great job we've done all year. We've done a great job all year to get to this point. First game of the season, this is our main goal, just win the state championship, and we did it, so it's been awesome. It's been a great ride. Building up to it, everyone was ready to go, amped up, ready to go. Last game at Fino Field. Got moved. The state championship happens to get moved to our home field, so nothing better than that. I mean, yeah, it was meant to be, pretty much, yeah.
I tried out 2 years ago. I didn't make it, but, so I wasn't just going to not try out again. So, I waited a year, got better, came back, and greatest decision of my life playing for this program. It's an honor to be in this program, and it feels so great to wear Milford across my chest and just win the state title. I mean, it's not a better feeling than that. All the coaching's great. They're just great guys. They're so fun to be around, and they know what they're talking about too. And it just goes a long way from knowing what to do and everything, and it just helps us out so much.
It's crazy. So now my third state championship in 2 years, and I've closed every single one out, so it's just crazy. It almost feels normal. I'm feeling we're just going to keep winning as a team, keep going in there, don't look ahead to anything, but just keep working together as a team, and we should do fine.
I went down 0-2, so I kind of got scared, but then I got my fastball. It was a little high. Would have been a ball. I still swung at that, and it felt great. Came back screaming at my coach. I liked it. It's pretty fun. I mean, so that's the third state championship basically a year, because we won in Bellingham too. So, I mean, it's pretty crazy. David Sampson, who closed it before we ran out in the ninth inning, he's like, this is like our job right now. This is my job to go close out the games, and he did. And it's just such a good feeling, but there's definitely more we got to do now, and it's great to do it on our home field too.
Incredible. I've only been playing with these guys for a couple months, but it feels like I've been playing with them forever. It's a great group of guys, and wouldn't want to win with anybody else. It's an awesome feeling. Coach does a great job of making sure our team chemistry is good, and he says, even if we get down in the game, never give up. We have a great team, very talented. Just stay within each other, stay composed, never get mad at each other. It's a family, and we play like we've been playing forever, and things pay off when that happens. It's speechless right now. Got to prepare, but gonna celebrate tonight. Hang out with my teammates, but go back to work when the regionals come and see if we can show that Massachusetts is a great baseball program, and hopefully things happen from there and then move on forward.
Milford on the warpath. Ooh, ah! Milford on the warpath. Ooh, ah! There you go.
No, good, because the first one was exciting in Norwood. But this one here is a lot different. They're going to go forward from here, but they did it at Pheno Field, did it in front of the fans.
It's just been a journey, and I'm just thankful that I had the opportunities that I did. Talk about the camaraderie on this team, You can't replicate this. Everybody loves each other, and we're all like brothers. I'm just glad that we had a chance, to gel quickly.
Really cool. It's a pretty cool feeling. I couldn't be more proud or happier for these kids. Put so much time in their summer. They don't have the luxury of taking a lot of vacations, and when they get days off, it's precious. And this is the ultimate goal, the ultimate prize to win the state championship. And I couldn't be happier for them for the work that they put in, and all the credit goes to them. It's a really special thing for them, something they're going to remember the rest of their life. I'm going to say this, and I'm sure I'm sorry, people are going to hear this 10 times from me, and it is what it is with this team. They're a resilient group. They don't let anything affect them. They do such a great job of battling back and not looking at the scoreboard and not worrying about anything other than the inning and the at-bat and the pitch at hand. And they do a great job of that, and it's just a testament to their character and their drive and their effort all year long, and it shows. Again, here they are as the 2014 state champions, and they're going on to the regional to represent the state of Massachusetts.
Game was good. I thought I did pretty well. Obviously 2 runs, but our team got it done, got 4. We just need to put up more runs than they did. Yeah, we were very excited that it was at Pheno. Get to play here one more time, very unexpected. Get some pizza. Team pizza. And then we were just ready to play. I think if we played anybody, we were going to win tonight. We're just ready to go.
Oh, it feels excellent. Just as good as the first time, maybe even better, because it's the actual one this time. So now we get to go to regionals, and it's going to be awesome. Let's go, baby. Mr. David Sampson, I would just like to know how it feels to be, the greatest stud to ever pitch on this, a Milford mound over here.
It's pretty exciting, I just go out there and I try to throw hard and I try to strike people out, and then if we win, we win, and today we won, and it was awesome.
Mikey Ryan. Dude, how does it feel just to lace bombs all day?
Well, I got robbed a couple times, but swinging the bat's awesome. I like hitting.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I love you, man.
Yep, I love you too, Pansy.
How do you feel about meeting teams out of your division that you've never seen before?
Just like this tournament. We haven't seen teams in this tournament before, so we just got to do the same thing when we go up there.
This is Brennan Pounds and Lamar Cones. We're signing off for this year of Milford baseball.
Yeah, state tournament champs, Milford.
Yeah!
Yeah!
Go, yeah!